Hi there, and welcome to the second tutorial video on the topic called periodicity. Right? In our last class, I've explained the introduction to periodicity, and also I've explained um, one of the property of periodicity um, known as atomic size. Right? So, if you're interested in watching our previous classes on these topics, I'll drop the link to our previous classes in the video description. So check the description. You see a link that'll take you to our press classes on the property and introduction to electricity. All right, let's move on with the concept of atomic volume and ionic radius. So obviously, this is second property of electricity. So look at them one after the other, right? So let's look at the second property known as atomic volume and ionic radius. This concept here, there are two different things, right? So I just merge them together. I'll take them together. Right? Today's class, I'll take these two of them. I should have separated this video from this one, but I just choose to combine them together. So this class, you take two things home. You take the idea of atomic volume home and ionic radius together, right? So first things first, let's start with the concept of atomic volume, because in these two things, there are two things here: atomic volume and ionic radius. So they're two different things. So let's look at them one after the other. So the first thing there is atomic volume. Atomic um, volume. So first things first, let's give definition and what it means and how you can apply it in the study of periodicity. First things first, atomic volume is the volume occupied by 1 mole of atom of an element. So the volume occupied by 1 mole of atom of an element is said to be atomic volume, right? So in essence, that definition could technically be a mathematical representation. So it means that what I just gave you as definition can be expressed mathematically. So I said again, atomic volume is the volume occupied by 1 mole of atom of an element. So I'm saying is that mathematically, atomic volume, we said is the ratio of um, molar mass, all right, all over I have density. So all right, this becomes your mathematical concept or mathematical technique on solving problem when it comes to atomic volume. So for atomic volume, there is a formula attached to it, and the formula is given by molar mass all over density. That's all you need to know when it comes to atomic volume. And also know that the SI unit the SI unit for atomic volume could be cm cube per mole. All right, cm cube per mole is one of the standard SI units used when it comes to atomic volume. All right, so at this junction, um, it's important to note that atomic volume tells you how much space atom of an element occupies. So the main characteristics, main feature of atomic volume is to tell you how much or how many much more space atom of an element occupies. That's all. So that's how you define, or perhaps that's the whole concept behind atomic volume. And don't forget in our previous classes that whenever we deal with or dealt with any properties, we do look at their trends. So let's look at the trends for atomic volume. So um, trends, trends. So let's look at the first one there across the group. For across the group, across the period per se, please. Across the period, and we have number two, we have down the group. Down the group. All right. So when it comes to atomic volume, the trends are in two forms. We have the one of across the period, and we have the one of down the group. So let's explain across the period what happens to atomic volume. Down the group, what happens or what is the pattern to which atomic volume plays when you are moving down the group. So first things first, for across the period, please note. Across the period, please note as we know that across the period you are moving this direction, down the group this direction. Please don't forget the direction to which you are moving. So for across the period, atomic volume generally decreases, then may slightly increase at the end. Please note I said atomic volume generally decreases, then might slightly increase at the end. That is the trend for atomic volume when it comes to across the period. All right, moving on. For down the group, please. For down the group, we said atomic volume increases. So please note that for down the group, atomic volume increases, but across the period, it decreases, but later on, it slightly increases, right, at the end. Yeah, at the end. So that's like the trends to atomic volume, both in terms of across the period and of course down the group. So I am basically done with atomic volume. So let's look at the concept of ionic radius, please. Let's do ionic radius. All right. So let's look at ionic radius in full detail. So this is basically atomic volume. So let's move to the second concept there called ionic radius. So definition: ionic radius is the distance from the nucleus to the outermost electron in an ion. It is measured in picometer in brackets pm. I said ionic radius is the distance from the nucleus to the outermost electron in an ion. Full stop. Moving on, it is measured in picometer, of course, in brackets pm. So pm stands for picometer. The way we have millimeter, centimeter, decimeter, and whatever. We also have what we called picometer, right? So picometer is the unit used when it comes to atomic radius, right? So you don't use kilometer, meters, no, use picometer. The spelling is on the spelling will be showed on the screen. So that's by the way. Now, when we say ionic radius, so it's two things that are merged together here. Ionic and radius. First things first, what are ions? Right? So we know fully well in our chemistry foundation that ions are simply elements or compound bearing charges, either being positive or negative. They are called ions, right? Or ions. So an ion is an atom that has lost electron or gain electron. That's it. So either being positive or negative. And we know that for positive, it means an atom has just lost electron. For negative, an atom has just gained electron. So these two positive and negative sign basically entails the concept of ions, right? So what of radius? Perhaps radius is the distance from the center of a circle to the circumference, right, of that circle. That's how you um, differentiate between ionic radius, ion and radius. So in combination now, by chemical approach, you said ionic radius is the distance from what? The nucleus of the outermost electron in an ion, that is, right? So moving on, we look at several types of ions that we have. So we look at several types of ion that we have, ranging from the cation and then the anion, right? So let's look at types of ion. Types of ion. All right. So let's look at types of ion. I said ion could be either positive charge or negative charge. And if it's negative, it means it is losing, no, gaining electron. If it's positive, is of course what they're gaining electron. So the thing is this, um, technically back then I have issue understanding which one is gaining, which one is losing, right? So obviously, normally on a real life sense, if I'm having positive charge, it means positive should be gaining. But in chemistry, positive because what they're losing. That's it. So just change your mind opposite the kind of statement you make. So positive charge on a normal ground, it is meant to be gaining, while negative means to be losing. But the other way around, in chemistry, positive charge tends to lose, while negative tends to what they attract. That's the concept. So let's look at types of ion that we have there. There are basically two types of ion. The first one there is called cation, right? Cations, of course, they are called the positive ions. The positive ions, right? So number two, there we have the anion, right? Anions, of course, this one are called the negative ion. Negative ions. All right. So these are two types of ion that we have. We have a cation and anion. So this one is positive ions and these are negative ions. So let's explain them one after the other. What's a cation? What is an anion? First things first, let's explain cation, please. All right. So this is a positive charge. Positive charge. By definition, a cation, this is formed when an atom loses electron. This is formed when an atom loses electron. Example, if I have Na plus, alright, I have H plus, alright, I have Pb2 plus, I have Cu2 plus, and I have perhaps etc. So this positive sign they are seeing here means that sodium needs to lose one electron, hydrogen needs to lose one electron, Pb means lead, right? It also needs to lose two electrons. Copper, Cu, also needs to lose what there? Um, two electrons. Why are they losing? For them to become stable, for the stability, right? That's what they are losing. So the reason behind atom losing or gaining electrons for them to be stable, right? We call it stability. And we say there are two conditions that govern stability of an atom. It must be either duplet or octet configuration. And I said by duplet, it means it must contain just only two valence electron, and by octet, it must contain eight valence electron. Right? So that's like the concept behind what's it called? The cations here. So cations are ion or they are formed when an atom loses electron, as in this case. All these examples here are given, they are all losing electron, right? So please note, just note one thing here, please note, before we move on to second one. Note, it says cations are smaller than their atoms. Cations are smaller than their atoms. Loss of electrons, comma, loss of electron, comma, outermost shell may disappear. Loss of electron, comma, outermost shell may disappear. Alright, that's basically what I want you to note when it comes to cation. Let's move on to number two called the anion. Number two, the anion. Alright, anion. For anion there, alright, you said this one's here a negative charge, right? So please copy this down, please. It says this is a form, perhaps this is formed when an atom gain electron. This is formed when an atom gains electron. For instance, we have Cl minus, oxygen 2 minus, right? Or minus 2. These ones here are having negative sign. What does it mean? Negative sign. This means chlorine gaining 1 electron. Oxygen gaining what there? 2 electron. For what? For what reason? For them to become stable. Right? For them to become stable. That's the reason why we have negative sign here, right? For them to become stable. The stability is the main key concept why we are always either losing or gaining electron, right? That's like the concept there. So next up, let's look at the trends in periodic table. Let's look at the trends, because we said every properties have their own trends. I've just dealt with atomic volume, and I gave you its own trends, right? That down the group it increases, across the period it decreases but slightly increase at the end. I gave it for this one. So also for this ionic radius too, let's look at the trends for ionic radius. Yeah, the trends. So we said the trends there have two kinds, right? For the trend we have two kinds of trends. Yes, we have the across the period and down the group. So across the period, what happens to ionic radius? Also, down the group, what happens to ionic radius? That's the question. First things first. For across the period, across the period for ionic radius, what happens there? Please note, please. Across the period, please. What happens? Ionic radius generally decreases across the period. Ionic radius generally decreases in bracket, please. In brackets, for ions of similar types. For ions of similar types. So please don't forget that the key take here is that when it comes to across the period for ionic radius there, what happens there? It decreases, right? It decreases. It decreases. All right. For down the group, please. For down the group, what happens? Down the group. What happens in this case? Copy that, please. Down the group. Down the group, please. Ionic radius increases. For down the group, ionic radius increases. For down the group, ionic radius increases. All right. This is basically the whole tutorial video or the whole full concept I have for you when it comes to atomic volume and ionic radius. If it's the first time watching my video, I will encourage you to subscribe to this channel, leave an amazing comment, and also share to your friends and classmates so they can have access to these amazing tutorial classes. And also do well to follow up through my WhatsApp community. So the link to my WhatsApp group is in this video description. So check that you see the link to my WhatsApp group and WhatsApp channels. You can join there. You can have access to opportunities, meeting students globally from the world. You can have access to them in that group. Aside that, I have a full tutorial course on AI video creation, right? So I teach people how to use AI to generate videos for themselves. As you can see, the video I'll be showing you now.
Long before Constantine ever arrives, long before the grand walls and marble palaces, there's already a city here. Around 657 BC, a Greek settler named Byzas sails east from the city of Megara and plants a colony on a narrow peninsula where two continents almost touch.
My people, today we name this city Byzantium, a beacon of ours guide us through the ages.
He calls it Byzantium. The location is extraordinary in the most practical sense. It sits right on the Bosphorus Strait, the narrow channel connecting the Black Sea to the Mediterranean. Every ship carrying grain, timber, or slaves from the north has to pass through here. Byzantium can tax them all. Within a few generations, it's one of the most prosperous trading posts in the ancient world. The city changes hands regularly.
You have just watched that video. That video is created by me using AI. If you're interested in, inventing or trying to explore how to use AI and upload those videos on YouTube to make a couple of money for yourself, you can reach out to me. WhatsApp number on the screen, and also feel free to reach out to me if you need a one-on-one section. I'll be available to take you guys through the journey of your success. All right, see you guys in the next class, and welcome to Excellent Link Academy.
Hold on. Before you continue this lesson, I need to tell you something important. If you've been struggling with studying, losing motivation, or you feel like you're working hard, but your results aren't showing, this is for you. I recently released a powerful book titled The Shortcut to Academic Success. It is a simple, practical guide that shows you exactly how to study smarter, stay focused, remember more, and achieve outstanding results without stress. This book is not theory. It's a step-by-step roadmap I created after years of teaching students and understanding what truly works. Inside, you'll discover proven study techniques, exam strategies, productivity hacks, memory boosters, and secrets top students use every day. Whether you are in secondary school, university, or preparing for any exam, this book will transform the way you learn and help you reach your academic goals faster. And the best part? It costs only 2,000 Nigerian Nairas, less than the price of a snack, but the value inside can change your entire academic journey. If you truly want to upgrade your grades and finally take control of your learning, don't wait. Get your copy of The Shortcut to Academic Success today. Your future self will thank you. Before we continue, let me quickly share something that can change your entire online journey. I just launched a complete YouTube mastery course, a step-by-step training designed to help beginners start and grow a successful YouTube channel using only their smartphone. In this course, I break everything down in simple, practical lessons. No expensive camera, no studio, no complicated equipment, just your phone and the right knowledge. You will learn how to create quality videos, design engaging thumbnails, write perfect titles, choose the right niche, understand the YouTube algorithm, and grow your channel from zero, even if you've never created a video before. If you want to become an online teacher like me, this course will guide you on how to teach online record lessons, explain concepts clearly, and attract the right audience. And if you want to create content in any other field, lifestyle, motivation, entertainment, business, this course will still show you the exact steps to succeed. All the lessons are pre-recorded, well-organized, and easy to follow. You can watch them at your own pace, anytime, anywhere. So, if you've been dreaming of starting a YouTube channel but didn't know how to begin, this is your opportunity. This course will take you from beginner to confident creator. The link to get the YouTube Mastery course is right there in the video description. Click it and start your YouTube journey today. Before we continue with this lesson, I'm excited to announce that I just launched my official website, a complete learning platform designed to help you study smarter, learn faster, and access high-quality educational resources anytime you need them. On the website, you'll find several well-structured courses created to guide you step by step through the most important topics. First, we have Organic Chemistry for Beginners, a simple, beginner-friendly course that breaks down organic chemistry into easy explanations anyone can understand. Next, there are WAC and JAM classes, specially designed to help you pass your exams with confidence using clear lessons, solve questions, and exam strategies. We also have the Physics tutorial for Year 1 students, covering foundational concepts you must master in your first year of higher education. And for anyone who wants to grow online, there is a complete course on how to start, grow, and earn on YouTube using only your smartphone. This course gives you everything you need to begin your YouTube journey without expensive equipment. There is also a book section on the website where you can get all my educational books, including The Shortcut to Academic Success. My website is now your one-stop platform for science tutorials, exam preparation, YouTube training, and learning resources that can transform your academic and digital journey. To explore all the courses and get your copy of the books, simply click the website link in the video description.